Hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a fantastic day. Leaving a like, comment, or subscription is always very much appreciated. A very big thank you to everyone who always leaves a like or a comment. Thank you for all of the support on Money Rules and the Travel Channel. And without further ado, let's jump right, almost knocked my cup over. Let's jump right into it. So, today is the big day. We were talking about this since Monday. Hope all of your weeks have been good thus far. Cryptocurrency prices, unsurprisingly, are actually falling right now. Yeah, it's because today is the day when we are supposed to be receiving news about inflation within the United States of America. And as such, prices everywhere are currently falling. Once again, we discussed this since Monday. It says Ethereum's price remains vulnerable. Will Ether fall back to $1,000? Possible. Depends on how insane or crazy the actual inflation news is. We've been there before. It was a year and some change ago that we saw a $400 Ether. So anything is possible. Keeping this in mind, make sure that you understand that being in this market is incredibly risky. I should not have to reiterate that. I'm pretty sure you all know that, but just understand that we are at a very interesting point in history right now, where interest rates are rising rapidly, currencies are also inflating rapidly, and the cryptocurrency market has always been historically rapidly volatile. I was trying to throw the word rapidly again. Anyway, the point is, yeah, but also, just in case you wanted some really weird hopium, for some reason, for the second day in a row, there's a whole bunch of other people who are really adamant that we are going to see some crazy Bitcoin price movements over the next couple of years. It says Bitcoin's price could top $1 million by the year 2030. This is something we've heard 9,000 bajillion times over and over. The general idea is the next halving is in 2024. And by the year 2028, from what I've read, from what I have seen online, we are apparently supposed to, by 2028, there's only going to be 1% of all the Bitcoin left to actually mine. And therefore, people are expecting that 2 years later, everyone will go, oh no, I wanted some Bitcoin. Now I can't have any because I was too slow. And then the price will continuously begin to rise. There were about 4 different analysts, 4 different rich people who were in the news today talking about exactly how high they think Bitcoin could go over the next 5 years, or in this case, over the next 8 or so years. And they all keep getting to the $500,000 to $1 million number. So I assume that hope keeps a lot of the market alive. Also in the price news, which people tried to make news, and I actually know this isn't real news. So Mike Novogratz, for those of you not looking at the screen, it says billionaire Mike Novogratz forecasts how long the Bitcoin and crypto bear market will last. I'll give you 5 seconds to come up with a conclusion. Like, I mean, it's super, super obvious. Think of the most obvious thing. What will stop Bitcoin from falling? Right. Now, what is making Bitcoin fall? Right. So basically, he came out and was like, the cryptocurrency market is falling because the Fed won't stop raising interest rates. And then they were like, well, what will, how do we get Bitcoin's price to go back up? He's like, the Fed has to stop raising interest rates. And this was, I'm not joking, this was actually one of the most popular price news stories all over the place. Basically mimicking everything that we've seen the entirety of this year. He announced that the reason why prices are falling is because of interest rate hikes, as if we didn't get that before. And then the only way to stop that and for Bitcoin to skyrocket once again is for the Fed to stop raising interest rates. Not sure if you wanted some like blatantly obvious news over there, but people, once again, it's always the really weird news that ends up being popular. I'm not sure how many people in reality didn't realize the last couple of months that this is the actual thing that's been going on. This is why every single day I make sure to bring you also the stock news so that you're not simply thinking, because a lot of other channels I've seen continuously make people think that prices are falling literally because of like negative sentiment from like actual holders. Like, no, there's a whole gigantic macroeconomic event that we are all going through right now. There are countries with a 45 to 120% inflation, and that's probably the reason why prices are falling. On top of that, it says Asian stock markets are tracing the S&P 500's losses ahead of US CPI inflation. Oil drops on gloomy outlook. Yes, a lot of people are expecting the actual news that we are going to get from the Federal Reserve of the United States of America that apparently, inflation's still high. Yeah, I know, weird, right? How could that have happened? So I think the inflation numbers that people were hoping for or are hoping for apparently are supposed to be less than 8%. Apparently, 8% just sounds too high to a lot of people because I'm certain that 7.9% would also be extremely staggering. But apparently, I think 8.5 was the number before, and people were hoping for something less than 8.3. And now the number, because of the Fed's actions over the course of the last 10 months, should see us well around a 3 to 4% inflation level. So people are expecting that despite all of their actions, we are still going to see not only a very high number for inflation within the United States, which is what for some reason everyone else on the planet seemingly cares about, but also that when that number hits, that we are going to get an indication or a movement or an eye wink from the Fed that apparently that they're also going to continue raising interest rates as well. From what I have seen, from looking around, it appears that they are not going to stop, regardless of there are multiple big banks and countries and the UN who are telling them, please stop what you are doing. It is not helping. All they're doing is causing millions of people around the world losing their jobs and losing their homes, what have you, so on and so forth, etc., etc. But they've reiterated, nope, they're going to continue raising interest rates until they feel that inflation has gotten under control, which is probably going to be never. So that's all the price news. Stock markets are falling. Stock futures, I think, were in green a couple of hours ago, but now they're all in red. I guess people woke up and were like, oh, today's the day. We're probably going to get an over 8% inflation level. If we get 7.9% inflation and the markets begin to rally, I don't understand existence anymore. And people still think that Bitcoin's going to go up to $1 million over the next couple of years. I mean, it seems believable. I think I was chatting with a friend. I feel like I'm rambling, but I don't think I am. Maybe I am. Who cares? I was chatting with a friend yesterday about the markets, not financial advice, of course, as always. And I was telling him like how much I've been putting into the market. Like I wholeheartedly believe, I don't know if it's going to be this week, if it's going to be in 4 months or 9 months. At some point, I believe markets will recover. We've seen this historically. The stock market will go back up. And we were talking about like how much money there is to be made through this entire thing, but also like the really weird idea of like so many people who are not in the markets, like they won't be benefiting from all of these price rises and how much money there is to be made and all this other stuff. Like everyday normal people, I'm air quoting here, won't really get it. They'll still be living under a 10% something inflation level. And it's not like things have really gotten better for them. So yeah, rambled on a bit, but you understand what I'm saying. When I said, or when we were going over yesterday, the idea of like fortunes being made. Yeah, even like years ago, like think of it this way, like historically, if you have like a downturn in the stock market and it lasts for a year, like that is a bear market. That's recession levels, all those numbers, cool. But then the actual run up in prices tends to last for like 4 to 5 years. Like you can look at the charts. Like we've seen that after a bear market or a Black Monday or whatever, like prices tend to go up for a number of years. And I'm like, if the stock market goes up for 2, 3, 4 years, and then the crypto market does the same, like what numbers are we going to be hitting? Like how dramatically high will all of these markets be? It is a gigantic question mark, because even before, if you look at like 2017, there were certain coins in the beginning of 2017 during like a 9-10 month bull run, where if you had put a couple hundred, not a couple thousand, if you had put around $900 into certain coins, 900, you would have made mid 6 figures. Like legitimately put in 900 and you would have made $250,000 from certain coins. And that was during a like, you know, a just a general hype cycle. Like what happens now that we have all these banks and institutions who are actively buying up all these coins? Sorry for the ramble, but you get what I'm saying, right? What's about to happen? What is going to take place when the markets begin to go back up? When the U.S. has to re-begin printing tons of money and buying back equities and securities, because it's going to happen. We all know that it's there. Other countries are already doing so because they're like, we can't hold on any longer. How rich are people going to be in the next like 2 or 3 years from all these markets? Very, very, very fascinating times ahead. Anyway, that's all the price news, at least that we have right now. And yeah, let's move on. A lot of the rest of the cryptocurrency news, as always, is kind of, I'll use the word discombobulated, simply because I think a lot of coins are not currently actively releasing news about updates or upgrades or any other thing with the project because, like, you know, the general saying goes, it'll be absorbed by the bear market. So people don't care what you're doing or how great something is, because all price action will simply look back to where, you know, things are going down and everyone goes, whatever, who cares? Tying loosely into that, there was no one talking about this news. I found this news on one website. I think this is the most fascinating thing in the entire world. So the merge has happened. Cool. We got there all together. Golf clap. It's incredible. One of the main ideas or metrics for the idea of Ethereum once the merge took place is that Ethereum would become deflationary. The idea before was the amount of people who are actually using the network. The more people who are using it, the more people who are paying for gas fees and transactions and blah, 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 that the coin would become deflationary. This happened also, was it this year or last year? I don't remember the time frame. Doesn't really matter. The point is there were so many people using Ethereum that they were burning huge, massive amounts of coin before the upgrade even took place. Now that the upgrade has taken place, and there are, in essence, less people using the network right now because of the market downturn, maybe people aren't using the apps or the dApps or whatever the websites they were going on, maybe they're simply not buying or selling or using NFTs as much as they were before. We have still, for those of you not looking at the screen, we have still, obviously, gotten to a deflationary ether. But the numbers here were so insane to me, and this is why I was really shocked that no one else was talking about this. It says deflationary. Ethereum supply declines by 5,500 Ether in 5 days. Now, here's what's really special about this. It's 2 lines that make up the entirety of everything that you will need to know. Actually, 3 lines. I lied. It says, since ETH is no longer being mined, the amount of it hitting the market on a daily basis is reduced considerably by 90%. For those of you who missed that, the merge cut Ethereum's issuance rate, how much Ether is being created, by 90%. That is 90. I told a friend that. They thought I said 19. It is 90%. Everyone got that? The amount of Ether being created since the merge is down by 90%. At the time of writing, since the merge, 7,525 Ether has been created. Everyone got that? Cool. If the merge had not happened, if we still had no merge, there would have been 340,000 Ether created. Once again, the normal amount of Ethereum that should have been created would be 340,000 Ether. All that's been created because the issuance rate has dropped has been 7,500. They even gave like a pretty little chart. You can see ETH, if we still had proof of work, the inflation rate would essentially be 3.67. Bitcoin's right now is 1.72. And Ethereum after the merge is 0. Or actually, in essence, negative. No one's talking about that. And once again, this goes exactly into, this is why a lot of coins and a lot of projects aren't announcing or releasing, you know, really amazing, cool news that's making it into the news at all, because the market absorbs all of this. I wholeheartedly believe whenever we do see a market move back up for the entirety of the space, I think Ethereum is going to go ballistic. There would have normally been 340,000 Ether created. There were only 7,500. And that's with less people using the network, and we've still gone deflationary. Very fascinating. So yeah, that's in essence, the Ethereum news. You don't understand. It's kind of like, I remember you must have also heard stories like this as well. There were so many people who got into the stock market around like 2008, 2009, like when everything collapsed. After the collapse, and people started throwing money into it. And there were so many people who made millions of dollars just by like normally investing, because there's so many like stocks right now that are down by between anywhere from 60 to 90%. The cryptocurrency market prices are also down by roughly around 80 to 95% as well. During any type of cryptocurrency like bull run, we tend to like, our movements up aren't like just normal 10x's. We usually tend to see, especially for altcoins, like 20 to 40x's in price. Where is this all going to go? I'm sorry for posing the exact same question over and over in this video, but I really do wonder exactly how crazy we're going to get in prices. Anyway, that's if that number didn't shock you, I really don't know how to shock you then. 340,000 should have been created. Only 7,000 were made. Yeah. Let's move on. Also in the news, the Switzerland-based fintech company 21 Shares AG unveiled a Bitcoin exchange-traded product on the Nasdaq Dubai, making it the first physically backed Bitcoin exchange-traded product in the Middle East. The firm has also recently been on a listing spree, including Bitcoin and Ethereum ETNs, exchange-traded notes on the Nasdaq Stockholm, crypto ETPs on the Euronext Paris and Amsterdam, and more. So the news is, a lot of people were happy about this, is that Dubai has their first physical Bitcoin exchange-traded product. Once again, this is now another country that has, in essence, this would be considered, if you want to look at it this way, as an ETF. It is a fund or a product on an exchange that is holding the actual physical Bitcoin. So they are buying physical Bitcoin, and this is what the US wants. This is what people have been rallying or trying to get for the last 7 or so years. For those of you who missed the news yesterday, the news was that it was, what company was it? I don't remember. The SEC rejected another company's proposal for an ETF. They simply said no. And then I believe it was Grayscale. I think it's Grayscale. Grayscale decided to sue the SEC because they say that the point is they're also trying to get an ETF to go through, and the SEC keeps saying no. So we'll see where that lawsuit goes. Yeah, that's the very, very short and sweet. The Nasdaq Dubai now has a physically backed Bitcoin ETP. Still waiting on just one country. Imagine if people realized that the rest of the world also revolved and everything. Like, take the US out of the equation for 1 second. Hear me out here. Use your imagination. Everything that everyone has been asking for in crypto has already happened everywhere else except for the United States. And still, the market is just waiting for the United States to have a Bitcoin ETF. Imagine if everyone took into account the other 35 countries that already have ETFs or ETNs or ETPs or have cryptocurrency regulation. No one's going to pay attention? All right. Well, that's the Dubai news. Yeah. Let's move on. Also, and this was actually prominent news. I won't use the word popular news. It says barely halfway through October, and this is the biggest month, I believe, of this year, possibly, for cryptocurrency hacks. We are 13 days into the month, and we already have a number of, I think it's been 4 or 5 gigantic multi-$100 million hacks. The big one last week was the Binance Smart Chain one for, I think, $100 million. And the one yesterday was the Solana Mango $100 million hack. So analysts are saying that it might get a little rough. I think it's Paul Tudor Jones. I don't know. Some really rich person was also in the news. I don't have the tab here because who cares? And they were talking about how like people need to like, what's the word? Do more due diligence. Don't just put your money into DeFi, which is totally, completely true. But they made it seem like it was the people's fault. Like, people in general in crypto for hacking each other. And this is why things were. Anyway, so yeah, just to reiterate, 4 major hacks. Like these are the hacks that have actually made the news because hacks happen all the time. So please, I implore you, if you happen to have your money in any DeFi place or sector, understand that or make sure that any money you have on said platform, you can afford to lose. I.e., you have 16K on some DeFi platform. If that goes to 0 tomorrow or they freeze your money because they're not really DeFi, will you be okay losing that 16,000? Right. This is what you have to think about. Sorry for all the dad talks today, but it's really a lot of people keep getting into these situations. And I tell you all before, there's a reason why there's only certain actual coins in the news all the time, because these are kind of like the safest coins. All these other DeFi platforms were clearly scams from the very get-go, trying to lure people in with the idea of a 35% yearly interest rate. That number doesn't make any sense. It's not mathematically possible. They're going to collapse at some point and probably with your money inside of it. So yeah, make sure you literally do your own research into where you have your money. You would not imagine walking up to a building that someone graffitied the word bank onto, B-A-N-K, in spray paint. Would you walk inside and trust them with your money because they offered you 35% interest rate? Probably not. Why are you doing it to some random coin platform? That's halfway through October, and this is already the biggest month in crypto hacks news. Let's move on. Also, in people trying to make this news, I mean, it is news. I got it. Cool. It's news, but it's not really news. It says Rio de Janeiro will be accepting crypto payments for property taxes. A lot of people, once again, what was the news yesterday? There was something that happened and everyone was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that's taking place. This is the first time that we're ever hearing about this. And I had to show you the news article from like 9 months before. So the news is that Rio de Janeiro has announced that they're going to be accepting cryptocurrency for property taxes. Whoa, I can't believe that. It's almost like the first time they've ever done something like that. Oh, wait, it's not. For those of you who missed the beginning of the year, we had explicit news that Rio de Janeiro, apparently the people who run it, I don't know. That looks beautiful. Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. Look at that photo. Wow. Apparently the people who are running the city like cryptocurrencies a lot, and they announced that they would be putting 1% of the city's treasury, I believe it was just into Bitcoin. That says the 27th of January of this year. So we already knew that they were completely into crypto. They also mentioned that they're trying to create or make Rio de Janeiro something similar to Miami, like a Bitcoin cryptocurrency run kind of city. We also had city officials before from Rio de Janeiro announcing that they wanted to be paid in crypto. And now the logical next step is that you can pay for property and property taxes in crypto. So like I said, this seemed like it was big news, but it's more like, no, if you had been paying attention at all, Brazil's constantly in the news. What was it? Didn't we just have news? Wait, was it Brazil? Why am I talking so fast? Didn't we just have news that there are 12,000 companies in Brazil who own crypto? I'm certain it was Brazil. 12,000 companies in Brazil own crypto. So logically, they're going to be accepting it for taxes and or property taxes. That's the Rio de Janeiro newso. Yeah. Of course. If the city has 1% of its reserves in crypto, I wonder like what else is going on behind the scenes that we simply don't know about. Like, I can only actually imagine. Anyway, that's the Rejo Di Janejo Newso. And yeah, let's move on. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. GBU Wally, Dotha Diddy, Manny Cryptos, Crypto Gambino, Bubble Mode, How's Life Austin, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Jamie Saad, Blockchain Simplified, and let's move on. Empire Queen, Roman Gable, Bitcoin Ben Arachno, Dave, Tony Ambroski, The Dealer's Den, Captain Something in the Z, Wade Lay, Mo Barazi, VB Nerd 21, Miguel Grollet, Lauren De Silva, Quarter Biddy, Troy, All Good, Space Case, Need a Miracle, Paternoster, Navarro Williams, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Martin Stoyo, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, Bibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Grayson, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Cold 3D, Setsuna, Richie Rich III, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Jim Garner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Jester, Crypto, Border McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger, Machanisa, on Crypto with Lionel, and Crayola and Michelle, URL. Thank you all. I was going to try and say thank you in Portuguese, but I don't know how. I can't. Why don't I know that? And I feel like it's going to be something super obvious as well. Anyway, thank you in Portuguese. Thank you all very, very much for your continued support. Thank you to everyone who's a member of the channel. Thank you to everyone who left a like, a comment, or has subscribed, who has watched videos on the other channel and has also done stuff for the algo. It is very much appreciated. At the moment, Bitcoin's at $19,014. It is down by 0.68%. Ethereum is down by 1.53. The altcoins have taken a much stronger hit. Binance coin is down by 2.5. XRP is down by 6. ADA is almost down by 8%. Solana is down by 5. Dogecoin is down by 4. Matic is down by 7. You get the hint. I don't have to keep telling you how much these coins are down. Has anything bucked the trend? X-Chain, once again. No, it has $6 million of trading volume. That's nothing. Okay. Yeah. Huobi token is up by 11. Anything else? Nope. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope that you all have and are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I hope it's one of the best days of your life. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, commenting, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.